All the girls were in love with you, says the tiny 116-year-old, her eyes twinkling as she squeezes the king's hand. Can you imagine the scene? Charles, King Charles III himself, throws his head back and laughs, blushing just a little. You might think that line is the best part, but stay right here, because the full story of why His Majesty turned up at a quiet Surrey care home on a rainy Tuesday afternoon is even better than that perfect, internet-melting confession. Before we dive deeper, let's talk about Ethel. Ethel May Caterham, born on August 21st, 1909, in Shipton, Bellinger, Hampshire, is quite literally a living history book. Picture this. She arrived in a world where milkmen still used horses, and phones had cranks on the side. Today, Ethel isn't just old, she's the planet's oldest living person, officially verified by Guinness World Records in April 2025, after the previous record holder passed away peacefully. This remarkable woman has lived through 6 British monarchs, 27 prime ministers, 2 world wars and 1 global pandemic, yet she's just carried on. Her passport, if it could talk, would tell tales of incredible adventures.
So what's her secret? Ask her, and she'll give you a shrug and a simple formula. I never argue, I listen, and I do what I like. That's it. She also believes in saying yes to almost every opportunity, because you never know where it might lead. Simple, right? But profoundly effective. Most people celebrating their 116th birthday might wish for cake, a quiet family gathering, or perhaps a telegram from the king. Not Ethel. When her carers asked what she wanted, she declared, "I'd rather meet him than fuss about balloons." It was a bold, charming request, scribbled onto a form by a busy staff member who probably thought nothing of it. That little note, however, somewhere between the laundry room and the aviary, found its way to the palace desk of a private secretary. The kind of person whose job it is to notice even the most impossible requests. And notice they did. Within days, an unprecedented reply came back. His Majesty would be delighted to drop by after his scheduled engagements in Surrey. No press fanfare, no BBC lorries, no grand ceremony. Just a quiet Tuesday in September, with the rain sounding like static on the windows, and a king about to fulfill a truly remarkable wish. He arrived without a sword or a sash, just a navy suit, a slightly soggy umbrella, and that famously endearing, slightly nervous smile. Ethel, meanwhile, waited patiently in her favourite cream armchair, the one with a crocheted blanket. She was dressed in a patterned sage dress, a pale pink shawl, and glittering gold fur-lined sequin slippers. Usually, royal protocol demands a formal handshake, but Charles skipped it entirely. He bent down, taking her tiny hand gently between both of his. "I'm Charles," he said, as if she didn't already know who he was. Ethel peered up, a mischievous grin spreading across her face like a schoolgirl, and delivered the line that would instantly melt the internet. "All the girls were in love with you, especially after the investiture." The king's cheeks went pink and he laughed. Cameras caught him mumbling, "Yes, well, all that's left of him anyway." A self-deprecating quip that might just be the most modest thing a monarch has ever said about himself. One of Ethel's granddaughters, Kate Henderson, even confirmed that this was a common sentiment from her grandmother, saying, "You said, Prince Charles was so handsome, all the girls were in love with him. A true prince, and now the king." It was a moment of pure, unscripted humanity. Ethel wasn't flirting, not really. She was time-travelling. She was speaking for a generation, a bridge connecting the past to the present. In 1969, she'd watched the 20-year-old Prince of Wales kneel for the Welsh crown, the television flickering in a Hong Kong sitting room while typhoon rain hammered the shutters. She remembered thinking, "He's just a boy pretending to be grown."
56 years later, that boy is a grandfather, meeting her not as a distant royal figure, but almost as an old friend who's outlived nearly everyone else who witnessed that very ceremony. When she says all the girls, she's speaking for countless women, for an entire generation that's almost entirely gone. Charles, you could tell, truly gets that. For a fleeting second, he isn't king. He's simply a man. The last page in her living memory book, sharing a moment of profound shared history. This wasn't just a royal visit. It was a connection across eras, a mutual acknowledgement of a life well lived and a history deeply shared. This wasn't actually their first contact. On her 115th birthday, a thick envelope had arrived, bearing the royal insignia, a substantial card, and ink that still smelled faintly when you pressed your nose to it. King Charles had personally written that her milestone was truly remarkable and sent his warmest good wishes for the year ahead. The private staff, as you'd expect, took photos, intending to file them away discreetly for the royal archives. But someone somewhere posted a single candid frame online. Charles mid-laugh, Ethel's eyes sparkling with pure joy. Charles didn't visit Ethel for longevity tips, though he certainly got some. He came because a remarkable lady who has seen everyone and everything wanted to see him. The smile that lit his face wasn't about flattery. It was the profound realization that history can still wink at you through a 100-year-old pair of eyes. In a world obsessed with speed, with algorithms and curated perfection, a 10-minute, unscripted chat about being a 1960s heartthrob did more for royal soft power than any polished, meticulously planned royal tour ever could. It was authentic, it was human, and it was utterly charming. So, next time you catch yourself fretting over wrinkles, take a moment to remember Ethel Caterham, the woman who survived every modern crisis by gardening, saying yes to life, and living truly authentically. Hit like if Charles's laughter made you grin, and please share this with someone who needs reminding that age is just the number of stories you keep breathing into the world. And if you've got your own heartthrob confession from 1969, trust us, we're all ears. Drop it in the comments.